Cajun Cryptids, Badr and Shadows of the Quarter. The French Quarter after midnight has two faces. On Bourbon Street, neon signs hum above wet pavement. Music bleeds from every doorway and crowds stumble between bars, clutching plastic cups filled with cheap beer. But just a block away, the quarter grows eerily silent. Gas lamps flicker, balconies sag, and the cobblestones gleam with a dampness that never seems to dry. That's where the shadows linger. That's where the stories live. Victoria, a Tulane graduate working nights at a small jazz club, often cut through those quiet streets on her way home. She knew the quarter's mood well, the scent of magnolia mixing with stale liquor, the soft rustle of beads swaying from an iron balcony, the distant rhythm of bucket kids drumming on Royal Street. But this night felt different. The air was heavy, damp, and strangely warm for December. A thick mist crawled in from the river, curling between the narrow alleys. As Victoria stepped out of the club and locked the door behind her, the laughter and music from Bourbon faded too quickly, swallowed by the fog. She adjusted her coat and started walking. Her heels clicked against the old stones. The sound echoed louder than it should have, bouncing off walls as if the quarter itself were awake. Halfway down the block, she saw him. A figure at the far end of the street, standing perfectly still under a gas lamp. His shape was blurred by fog, but something about him was off. Too tall, too thin, his shadow stretching longer than the lamp should allow. Victoria quickened her pace. She told herself it was nothing, maybe just a drunk lingering in the mist. But when she turned the next corner, there he was again. Same lamp, same distance, same stillness. Her heart pounded. She cut down an alley. Damp brick walls rising on either side, the smell of moss and mildew filling her nose. The alley was lined with wrought iron gates and shuttered windows, all closed tight. No escape except forward. Halfway through, she froze. A sound drifted through the fog. Claws scraping on stone, slow and deliberate. Not footsteps, something dragging. She turned, expecting the figure. Nothing. Only mist shifting like breath. When she emerged back onto Chartres Street, her stomach dropped. The figure was there, closer now, standing under the balcony of an old townhouse. His face was still hidden in shadow, but she could see more detail. Long arms dangling at his sides, hands pale and too thin, almost skeletal. Victoria's pulse raced. She pulled her phone from her pocket, but the screen flickered, glitched, then went black. No signal, no light. The quarter was silent now, too silent. No music, no voices, no sound of Bourbon's chaos. Only her shallow breathing and the faint scrape of claws against stone. She darted across the street, passing the darkened St. Louis Cathedral. Its spires loomed like black spears in the mist, windows reflecting pale gaslight. The square was empty, every shadow leaning toward her. She thought of running inside, but the cathedral doors were locked, chains rattling faintly as she pulled them. Behind her, the figure stood at the gates of Jackson Square. The fog wrapped around him like a shroud, his head tilting unnaturally to one side. Victoria stumbled back, clutching her coat tight, whispering a prayer, then he spoke. The voice was wrong, too deep, stretched and wet, like air passing through waterlogged wood. "Where did you get your shoes?" The old hustler's line, the one every tourist hears on Bourbon, twisted into something hollow and mocking. Her blood ran cold. The figure stepped forward, and with each step the gas lamps dimmed. Shadows stretched across the stones, reaching for her feet. His face flickered into view just for a moment. Skin pale and sagging, eyes black pits, mouth too wide, filled with jagged teeth. Then the fog swallowed him again. Victoria bolted. She tore down Royal Street, past shuttered antique shops and galleries, past iron fences where Mardi Gras beads rattled softly like bones. The fog chased her, rolling faster now, filling every corner. At last she reached Canal Street. Lights glowed brighter here, streetcars clattering in the distance, the normal sounds of the city bleeding back in. She stumbled to a stop, panting, her lungs burning. The fog thinned. The figure was gone. Only the quarter remained behind her, silent and watchful. Victoria didn't tell anyone what she saw. Not the police, not her friends, not even her priest. But now every time she leaves the club at night, she avoids the fog. She avoids the alleys. And when a stranger on Bourbon Street asks a tourist that old hustler's question, "Where did you get your shoes?" her skin crawls. Because she knows that somewhere in the quarter, when the lamps flicker and the mist rolls in, the figure still waits. And it's always watching.